Good. Member for
Tell the
Riverstone.
truth. Good job, Nathan.
Speaker, my question is to the Premier. Can the Premier please update the House on the community reaction to new measures announced by the New South Wales Government to get knives off our streets and boost community safety?
Call the Premier.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I thank the member for Riverstone for his question, an important one when it comes to the administration of justice in New South Wales and to keep the public safe. If you look at recent statistics from New South Wales Police from April 1, 2023 to April 1, 2024, as a result of police operations across New South Wales, 3,855 knives were taken from members of the public in public places. 2,392 people received a legal process or charge for knife possession in the state, and 823 people received a legal process or charge for a secondary or subsequent offence. Now, by any objective measure, these are large numbers, and it does indicate that as a result of those targeted police programs, a large number of those illicit knives were circulating in our community. And Mr Speaker, when you put that in context with the fact that last year in 2023, last year in 2023, there were 56 murders in New South Wales. 20 of those murders involved the assailant using a knife, which, if you were to be murdered in New South Wales with a weapon, the leading cause of that death, that homicide, would be a knife. To put that in perspective, the use of a firearm was used in the commission of 12 murders in the state, or about 20%. So this is obviously a major problem in the state, and the New South Wales government made changes in April of last year to double the maximum penalty for knife possession in the state, both as a prison sentence and as a fine offence in New South Wales, in response to some of the alarming numbers of illicit knives used in the community as a result of police operations. However, Mr Speaker, we want to get to a position where we are driving down both the possession and use of knives in New South Wales to zero. We effectively want to change the culture and the psychology, particularly of young people, that if they know there's a chance they'll be caught with a knife possession in New South Wales, they choose to keep it at home, not take it at all, or not to procure one in the first place. This is vitally important. We've decided, Mr Speaker, that the only way to ensure that we push forward with changes in legislation to change that psychology or behaviour is to introduce a bill into New South Wales based on the Queensland Jacks Law. Now, this is important when you consider that in Queensland, as a result of changes to the law, they've been able to identify and take off the streets about 500 illicit knives with a limited targeted program in Queensland. We want to ensure that the same laws and regulations are in place in New South Wales.
Speaker. Member for Riverstone.
Speaker, I would seek more information on this important topic.
An additional 2 minutes is granted.
And Mr Speaker, if you speak to the father of Jack, Brett Beasley, who's a passionate advocate for law change in this space, articulate about the measures, knowledgeable about what works in different jurisdictions, and passionate about reducing the incidence and number of young people in particular that choose to carry a knife in public in New South Wales and in Queensland. We were won over by his passionate advocacy for a change in the law. In addition to that change in the law, the government is proposing to increase penalties for adults that supply knives to children under the age of 18 and lifting the age at which a young person can purchase a knife from 16 to 18, with obvious exemptions in place for young people that are studying a trade or may need to have a knife as part of their educational studies. And Mr Speaker, it's important to note, and we're pleased to note, that it has been welcomed, these proposed changes have been welcomed by many stakeholders in the area that have been concerned about the prevalence of knife crime in New South Wales. Kevin Morton, the President of the Police Association, publicly said, "The Premier and Police Minister have responded to our calls for a stronger stance on knife crime." Stuart Little said, he's the General Secretary of the Public Service Association, "Anything that can reduce the scourge of knife crime, particularly by young people, is welcomed." And Jared Hayes from the HSU said, "If you can't eradicate the issues of knife crime in the community, you have to be able to minimise the risk." Paramedics and health workers across New South Wales will welcome these changes. Mr Speaker, we hope to introduce this legislation into Parliament next week. We're hoping for bipartisan support or multi-partisan support when it comes to this important change. Mr. Speaker, while I do have the attention of the House, can I also associate the opposition with the recent health challenges for the member for Davidson? I don't know Matt personally very well, but he's made a major impact in the House since he's been elected, and he'll be a loss to the House as he battles this disease, and we genuinely wish him all the best.
Thank you.